Hi there, Russell Stratton, President and Leadership Champion with Blue Gem Learning. I work with organisations just like yours to help managers be even more effective and help them improve individual and team performance. So what I'd like to talk to you about today is something that is close to a lot of managers' hearts and often causes them a lot of heartache, and that's the annual appraisal. So if you happen to be in HR, I suggest you sort of put your hands over your ears at the moment, because this is the bit that tends to upset my HR colleagues. Now I can say that because having been an operational manager, I was also an HR manager, so I sort of feel that I can have permission to talk about this. The point I'm making is about the performance appraisal process. And often when I'm talking to managers in organisations that I'm working with, there's a real sense of frustration that the performance management process and the appraisal process don't really help them improve individual and team performance. Typically, at least 3/4 of participants on my programs will often say that they find that the appraisal process is a lot more process driven than it is action driven. So what do they mean by that? Well, when you talk to them, what they're saying is it tends to be driven by HR, and it tends to be focused on a box ticking exercise to ensure that appraisals have been completed, everybody's got their performance mark, that all the competencies that the company have been assessed. And less focus on how are we actually going to improve performance and help people be even better at their job. I'll give you one quick example of this. I was talking to one manager who said they spent so much of their time on the appraisal process for very little return. And one of their real problems was the number of competencies that they were assessing. So I asked them, how many competencies do you assess for the average employee? And he said, well, somewhere between 30 and 60. Now that took me by surprise. 30 and 60 competencies? I looked around the room. Other managers were nodding their head. One of his colleagues said she was assessing 68 competencies for people in their team. Can you imagine that? 68 competencies times 20 people times 4 times a year? It was no wonder they felt frustrated and didn't feel that they had time to get any improvement work done. So one of the things that I've talked to people about is being less focused on the process, less focused on ticking the box, doing the competency assessments, and trying to distill it down into action. And this is by taking much more of a coach approach. So really spending your time with people focusing on what it is that they need to be doing, how they're performing against that at the moment, find the gap, and then work with them in real time to see about how can we coach you to improve that performance and close the gap. Okay? What they're supposed to be doing, what they're doing at the moment, where's the gap in between, and then actually coach them to close the gap and improve their performance. Now, if we were thinking that managers were spending their time doing that type of activity and not spending their time doing a lot of paperwork and process-driven activity, I think they'd find that their appraisal system was a lot more effective. So I was talking to one of my clients who told me they have no appraisal process. And I said, as an ex-HR manager, I'm like, well, how do you even measure performance? And he said, well, simple. I sit down with my team every morning and we focus on what needs to happen, how we're going to do it, and then I spend time supporting people delivering on the business. And when you distill that down, that's really what you should be doing. So I point out to you, if you're a manager sitting there frustrated about your appraisal process in your organisation, is cut through the process of bureaucracy and focus on those actions that help people improve their performance in real time. Remember, what do they need to be doing? How are they performing at the moment? And then coach them to close that gap. If you'd like some more information on an excellent coaching model, check out my next video when we talk about our coach approach. In the meantime, have a great day. Hi folks, if you enjoyed that video, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see other great training that I cover. And if you think this training will be useful for your organisation, make sure you reach out to me at bluegemlearning.com and we can talk.